How goes it, everyone? I am the world famous Fat Kid, and today it is the Week 6 recap. And we're in a much better spot than we were last week, but there's a little bit of bittersweetness going on, which I'll get to eventually. Most of you probably should already know it, but the best part of the week is 11-3. Actually crushed it. Well, I consider it crushing it, especially after a lot of 500s or sub 500. I'm excited about it. So, let's get into the discussion. Thursday Night Football, San Francisco 49ers taking on the Seattle Seahawks. Now, here's the problem. I took the Seahawks, and they hung in for a little bit, and then ended up just falling out of the race as San Francisco pulled ahead late. They had no answer. So, yeah, I said I normally take the 49ers. I probably should have listened to myself on that one. Well, oh well. Next, we move on to an embarrassing game in London. The Jacksonville Jaguars taking on the Chicago Bears, and Caleb Williams went off. He threw for 5 touchdowns, and they cruised to a huge win against the Jaguars, which I guess diminishes it slightly, but it could be a confidence booster for Caleb Williams going forward. Who's to say? Next, my pick a game of the week, the game to watch, and it was the Washington Commanders and the Baltimore Ravens. And it was a pretty close game. Baltimore seemed to be in control, but Washington tried to make it a game late. Just couldn't quite do it. I believe it was 24-20. See, I should have the scores up, but it's fine. I watched it for the most part, and I mean, Washington played pretty well against a very good Baltimore team, although Baltimore's kind of up and down. They had a run game going. It was just too much. But Washington still bright future. Next, we move on to the Arizona Cardinals taking on the Green Bay Packers. And yeah, this went about how I figured it would. Maybe not to the extent. It was over in about the second quarter. The Packers were up 17-0. So yeah, I didn't see Arizona being able to hang with the Packers, and poof, there it is. Next, Houston Texans taking on the New England Patriots, and I picked Houston. Houston got the win. New England hung around a little bit more than I thought they would. Drake May played much better than I expected as well. So maybe this is a jumping off point for the Patriots offense. I don't think so, but who knows? Maybe Drake May is the spark that the Patriots needed. I still don't see this being a very good season for them. But maybe there'll be things to build on next year. Next, move on to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the New Orleans Saints, where Spencer Rattler made his debut for the Saints, and New Orleans kept it close early, and then Tampa Bay just stepped on their throats. I believe they scored 51. Yeah, Tampa Bay, I don't know. They've had that one or two games where they did not look dominant, and then every other game they've just said, nope, we win. I don't know. Tampa Bay's a little weird, but I'm excited to watch them. Baker's playing well. Mike Evans is playing well. As long as he's healthy, normally does. Godwin's doing well. They've got White and young guy, rookie maybe in the backfield. I believe White was injured for this game. But either way, the running game's starting to produce. And that defense is, for the most part, really good. They give up some splash plays, but they can't be perfect. No defense is perfect. Anyway, we're on a streak of getting them right. We'll just go with that. Next, Cleveland Browns taking on the Philadelphia Eagles, and the Eagles get the win, but this was way too close if you're an Eagles fan. They should have just stomped and ran away with this game against a terrible offense in the Browns. But I believe it was within a score, within a touchdown. So maybe a little bit of concern, or maybe it's just Philly getting their legs under them after the bye week. Who's to say? We'll find out next week. Then we go on to the Indianapolis Colts and the Tennessee Titans, where Joe Flacco led a drive late in the game to take the lead, and Tennessee and Will Levis, I don't know why he's starting. Apparently he's the guy. Anyway, Indy wins on a late game touchdown drive, and Tennessee just could not answer. Tennessee actually had the lead and were playing fairly well. Just got caught once late. That's all it takes. Next, we go the last loss of the week for me this time. Woohoo. Los Angeles Chargers taking on the Denver Broncos, and I picked the Broncos, and the Chargers said, nah, we got this. AFC West, I don't really care about either team, even though they're in my division. I didn't really see the highlights. I just saw the score, and Denver let the game go. Couldn't build on the momentum. So, yeah. Chargers win. Stupid. Then we move on to an embarrassing game. Pittsburgh Steelers against the Las Vegas Raiders, and of course Raiders jump out. They take a 7-3 lead on an Alexander Madison touchdown, and that was it essentially. Yeah. All that optimism I had before the season started, and even after week 2, gone. But we know this already. Pittsburgh, their defense was suffocating. Their offense, because apparently we can make any offense look stellar. Like even the Browns looked pretty good against us. Yeah, it's a sad deal. But Justin Fields had a really good game. I believe 2 rushing touchdowns. They went out in there and they took the win. And the whole bittersweet is, 11-3 for the week, but the Raiders just traded Devontae Adams to the Jets, which we all kind of knew was coming, the trade anyway. And it was narrowed down between the Saints and Derek Carr or the Jets and Aaron Rodgers. Yeah. So I have thoughts and opinions. I can give them if you really want them, but for now, I'm just going to leave it at that. Then we move on to the Atlanta Falcons taking on the Carolina Panthers, and Atlanta handled business. I don't know stats. I don't know scores. I just know Atlanta won. We all expected that. Carolina sucks. Still beat the Raiders. And yes, I will say that every time I bring up Carolina sucking, because they still beat the Raiders. Anyway, next we move on to the Detroit Lions taking on the Dallas Cowboys, and this was glorious. 41-9 in Jerry's world on his birthday. They were running linemen out on routes. They were doing hook and ladder. They were doing all sorts of trick plays because they were just coasting. Detroit, They did lose Hutchinson due to a broken leg. I have not seen that. I do not want to see that. It was told to me that it was fairly gruesome. I'm good. Hopefully he can be ready for next year and speedy recovery. Wish all the best for him, because that is... oh, that is terrible. But Detroit got the win, but they may have lost a big piece in their defense. Next, we move on to the Sunday Night Football game. Cincinnati Bengals taking on the New Jersey Giants. And again, it was a game that seemed extremely close. It was closer than the score made it seem, because I believe the Bengals were up by 3, and then the running back Brown broke a 20-something or 30-something yard touchdown late to go up 10, and the Giants got the ball back, and it really didn't matter. But Cincinnati should not have been that close that late to the Giants. Maybe the Giants are better than I give them credit for, and they're scrappy and they stay in games. Or the Bengals are not as good as I anticipated, which I could see that happening. But, yeah, Bengals won. They still got a shot this year. Then we close out with the Monday Night Football game. Buffalo Bills taking on the New Jersey Jets. Yeah, I'm a little upset at them. So they get the Jersey treatment. Buffalo, big win. Again, a game that I thought they were going to control and maybe not run away with, but at least 10-point win. No, the Jets stayed in it. A couple of mistakes kept the Bills in the lead. But, yeah. Buffalo, no clear number one wide receiver until yesterday when they traded for Amari Cooper. Which, hands of stone, Coop, I guess that's still an upgrade, because he's going to get you the catches as long as you throw it like 13 times at him. He'll get you 5 catches and like 2 or 3 drops. And he'll get the yards, but also, you know, the bigger news was Devontae going to the Jets, which he will make the offense a little bit better, but it also relies on Rodgers and how well he is going to play for the rest of the year, because he's looked bad. Now, granted, that could be his wide receivers. It could just be his age. I don't know. So that's for them to figure out and me to watch. Anyway, there's the recap. Good week. Let's keep that momentum rolling into next week, and maybe we can get 12-3, 13-2, because we only got 15 games next week. 2 teams are on a bye. So anyway, until next video, hope to see you there. Hope you have a great one. And I'll see you in the next one. Later.